Welcome in. This could be series for um, Hot Dog with Water, HD Water Coach. We are now at Nevada. Let me pull this up. So, we're going to continue to play it out. We're actually facing our old school, Coastal Carolina, in a Week 3 matchup. They should probably be pretty good. We might actually lose this game, but we'll just try to see what happens. Get rid of that. 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 This. Get that number. Let's see. I added some things to the chat, so I'm going to be testing those tonight. We're going to stream for an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. See what happens. And go from there. So, let's jump into it. Let's get into the game. I didn't actually want to run the pistol offense. I think I'm going to go away from the pistol offense, but I didn't enjoy it in the first game. Let's see. This can go away. This has to be locked for a second. Alright, let's get into it. See what they got. Big Bubba Ray. It's up to a 90 now. McDoom at a 94 overall. It's probably going to cause me some problems in this game. We'll see it happens.
Hi, everybody. Reese Davis with you, bringing you the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 pregame show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. We're giving you a live look inside the stadium. Arms are loose. Hamstrings have been...
Look at those yards they're putting up now. Points per game, 484. I think they played 2 games, too. They played 2 games or 1? Can't remember. I think it said they played 2 games already. Alright, offense is going out first. Yeah, they've played 2 games and they're averaging 44 yards. They're 44 points a game. That's jump. Montoya.
Excellent kick. He's to the 20. Tackle made at the 29-yard line.
I don't think he's going to go down.
Now the offense gets ready to take their first crack at it. He's tackled at the 31-yard line.
I mean, we're going to have to delegate some sync out on the win this game. So let's just start getting aggressive with it now, I guess.
He's taken down around the 40-yard line.
I like how efficient the offense looked on that play. Everybody knew their assignment, and it all came together for a nice run.
There's a missed tackle. Tackled after a decent pickup. From their own 45-yard line. It's second down. He makes it to the 48-yard line.
All right, third down. We need to get a stop here.
the 47-yard line. First down. And he's taken down at the 38.
That's a decent play. That brings up second and 1.
They'll knock him down for a loss.
Never really had a shot. They were on him almost as soon as he took the handoff.
Bring up third and 2.
Let's go.
It's third down, and they're about 2 yards shy of the sticks. Caught out in the open. He's at the 30. They'll bring him down at the 26. We're at play number 9.
Oh, we're not doing too hot.
Catches it, and he's looking for more. Inside the 10. Knocked out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
Give me that far.
Any quarterback's arsenal should be the ability to sell the run with a good fake. He does a really good job here on the fake, and then they pick up some nice yards.
First down, and they've got their eyes on that goal line. And they'll bring him down behind
Yeah,
the line.
defense.
Think about the speed and instincts it takes for a linebacker to get from his position into the backfield.
Good
to make a
job,
play like
defense.
that. That's well done.
This is the 11th play of this drive.
Hold on, just a second. I gotta test something. Okay. Try this. Nothing. Okay, try. March. I thought I took Streamlabs out of this. Okay. Let's try. Oh, I might have just did social. Social. Yeah, I added a couple. That's spelled wrong. No, well, both. Yeah, I was gonna go live this evening anyways, because I'm at like 2.95 and I'm really trying to get to 3 before tomorrow. But I was gonna test these out while I was at it. Well, good. I'm glad, man. I'm glad. Did you? Yeah, I'm guessing you had to go in though. that working? Okay, I see. Okay. And socials. Yeah. I mean, are you done? You didn't have to go in for very long, or you still at work? Actually, let's do this. You do. Oh, it did work. It doesn't say it works. No, I didn't put the link in there like a dumbass. Let's try that. YouTube. There we go. Oh,
And it pays
wide
off.
open.
Touchdown.
Big old lane there.
Things can get pretty fierce in this territory, but they look totally in control.
So let's see what the offense can do as they come out onto the field.
No, we're playing against them. I wasn't able to get the head coaching job there, so I left. Oh my gosh. I left and went to Nevada.
This quarterback has to do a better job of avoiding the rush, because sacks
How did that pop up
real
again?
drive killers.
How's that popping up also?
They find themselves in a hole here after that sack. It's second and long. That's a great tackle at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I ended up taking a job at Nevada instead. Because Coastal actually re-signed their head coach. So he's going to be there even longer now. So I signed him, but I brought him in as a team for us to play.
Fires quickly, and he's got his man. And they make the stop at the 43.
Here's the true test of a quarterback at any level. Can they make a good
All right,
throw
now
under
we can get
pressure?
back on
One
track
or
here.
two or three guys are coming right at him. I think this young passer has proven that, yes, he can.
Oh, get up.
Nice run up the middle.
Never happens. I never get the ones that pop back up and take off run. Happens to me all the time. I see offenses do it all the time. My guys,
From their own
no.
48-yard line. Second down. play action. Throws it in a hurry. And he
I don't know how I caught that, but I'll take it.
39.
Not a real fancy play here, just a smartly run route. Good protection and a well-placed ball. Most times, you don't need much more than that.
Slings it. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's out of bounds around the 13-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how I caught it, but all my guys were like right on top of each other for some reason. I was hoping they'd have a little bit more separation.
We've got a first and
If they'd all kind of get that same, they would all kind of go in the same direction, but they'd be kind of staggered. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Stream Elements is doing what I wanted it to do. Okay. And I didn't need to put in a command. Oh, keep going.
Terry gets about 4 yards on the play.
Now let's see how often it puts that up. Because I don't want that to spam all the time. But
And this is the 8th play of the drive.
no time to throw. No time to throw.
So that sack leaves them with some work to do. It's 3rd down and
Yes.
14.
Fourth and 1. We're going to go for this, right?
It's going to be 4th and
Chat will go for this. We pick field goal.
Pick up on 3rd down.
Boy, what a throw.
What are we doing here? Field goal or kick it? I mean, go for it. That's
Quarterback,
okay.
almost equally excellent catch by
Yeah,
the
that's
receiver,
yeah.
but the defense topped them both by coming up with this lead.
We'll do this.
So they're going to go for it here.
And, well, end of the quarter.
Folks, that's the end of quarter number 1, and we got a pretty good ball game on our hands so far. 7-0.
Yeah,
And
actually, I
we're
do
ready
want
for
this
more
instead.
football here in quarter number 2.
Now I can bring him on the slant back the other way. Next time I threw out. There.
End zone touchdown.
There he is. I should have ran that tight end on an actual out. Yeah, I wouldn't have to thread it so hard if that tight end would have not stopped. But he had the option route, so he could go up there and turn around. Or he was supposed to, I was hoping he would just take the out. We kind of run like a little pick play there.
Been like a couple of fighters feeling each other out so far. Let's see if they start to open it up a little bit more.
Don't know if I'm going to be able to stop this team. That's the problem. But of course, now they're scoring 44 points a game. Whereas, you could get them to score 14 points last time, when we were there. But now they're scoring 44 a game. I don't know who they were playing, but 44 points a game was their average coming in. So across 2 games, their average was 44.
Inside the 48.
Shut him down. Let's go.
2 yards with that catch.
I think we're going to be a run team this year because we got a pretty good wide receiver, but I don't really trust the quarterback.
I think we'll see more and more attempts to
He's not coming all the way in. Oh, yes, he is.
Tackle made around the 7-yard line. It's 2nd and 8. Ball on the 7.
The quarterback or that wide receiver out there, Mac, or the quarterback? I don't know. I haven't ran him very much. That wide receiver out there, Mac, I can feel it. Like when he catches the ball, you feel the difference of using him versus like my running back or somebody. He feels faster, if that makes any sense. He feels a ton faster.
Makes it out to maybe the 19-yard line.
Like Bird Cell here, he doesn't feel very fast. Yeah, yeah, you can feel it. They feel shiftier and quicker. The controls are easier. Whereas when I, have using my running back, it feels like he's stuck in sand.
There's a strike complete. There he goes.
Oh.
Tackle at about the 49.
So I'll probably work him pretty good. Okay, that's doing it a little too often. Yeah, I use that stop juke a lot. That's like my main tool. Oh,
Quickly to the tight end, incomplete.
I think the secondary caught a break there with that ball being overthrown.
I like
to
the stop
tight
juke.
end. I know he's a big fella, but he's still a playmaker. And that
Stop juke and then just your regular left-right juke are about the only things I do. I don't spin very often.
Second down.
Yeah, but he's inaccurate. It's my problem.
Play fake and looking to run. Pulls down the catch and he's got room here. And he's tackled at the 31.
When he's under pressure, he's very inaccurate. Okay, this is popping up way too much. How do I get this not to pop up so much? I want that to pop up like literally once an hour. My timers. Save. Save. What is the time difference here? I click on this to see the time. Oh, do this. Timestamp. 50, 50, 45. For that, it was. It hadn't started yet. This one, 40, 41, 42, 50. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm trying. I use Nightbot, but I'm trying to like all in one. Like I want Stream Elements to do all of it.
Ball on the 31
Like they do my overlays and my notifications and everything like that. I'm trying to get them all together into one.
Quick pass. He's taken down at about the 27-yard line.
That makes it 2nd and 6.
Here's the
Scotty, we good on Tarkov tomorrow? Oh, he got out of there. I left you.
What a play.
Well, this option
Yeah.
opens up
I hear you.
so many possibilities.
I played a couple times this week. I actually didn't play any division this week, which next week I'm gonna get back to.
Swings have been fairly even.
But
With so little
I was just
separation, this game can be
kind of lit a fuse under me on Friday, so I wanted to play it a little bit more. Oh, quarterback's good. Yeah.
First and 10. Ball on their own.
Probably. I could probably. My older two leave at 7:30. So, I mean, about 7:45 is gonna be the earliest. Probably.
The pitch man will get
We get time to have my coffee, get settled in, and get ready, all that stuff. But yeah. 7:45, 8 o'clock. I figure that works for you. That's too early for you, no big deal. We can put it off. I can do something else till you get on. Oh my gosh, look at that.
That was almost picked.
You don't want to ever give your opponent a second chance. But that's exactly what they did by not making that interception.
It's third down, and this offense is about 3 feet away from that first down marker. Gets to a lot.
I want to see the overall of this team real quick. Yeah, I drink coffee while I'm playing. Yeah, 8 o'clock works. We'll call it 8 o'clock. That'll work perfect. Yeah, look at this. 2 junior quarterbacks that are 90s, right? True freshman. I mean, a redshirt freshman that's a 78. This guy is a sophomore at 85. Another sophomore at 82. Another sophomore at 80. Fullback, senior. I mean, I didn't really care. I wasn't really recruiting that. Wide receiver, senior, junior, senior, junior. I mean, this is pretty average. Well, freshman James Flowers at 81. And Utley at a 88. I mean, at a 75. Did I say 81? I was reading this number like an idiot. Yeah, the receiving core is really good. Tight end, it's kind of lacking there. I was trying to work on getting the tight end situation better. But left tackle is a 75. Guard is an 86. Center, sophomore center at 80 overall. Another sophomore center at 78 overall. Yeah, both the guards are 78 and 77. They're both sophomores. Tackle out here who's actually injured. I should take advantage of that. He's a sophomore at 78. Sophomore at left end is a 77. This guy's a senior who's 82. And then Bubba Ray, who's was going to be outrageous regardless. Sophomore, 78. Sophomore, 76, 73. Junior, senior, senior. Sophomore, 75. I mean, it's just a solid team, really. Look at all these corners. Insane. The offense is really good now. I mean, the defense actually doesn't even look that great. See, the defense is stacked, but not like the offense is. That offense is
47-yard line.
really good.
From the 47-yard line, it's first down.
It's because I was putting so much effort into recruiting that offense, trying to make it better. Like this quarterback right here was a transfer my first year. He's gone.
To the 20, to the 10. And he will score.
He was a transfer. Yeah. This guy's a 93. The other one was a 90, I think. I mean, that's...
It takes a lot of pressure.
And they're both junior, right? So even if one of them left, you still have the other one.
Dual threat.
I'm honestly surprised the backup didn't transfer. And then he stayed there. And then they got another sophomore behind him that's a 78. I'm sorry, a freshman that's behind him that's a 78.
He just drills this one.
This guy feels very slow.
He's pushed out of bounds at about the 33
Yeah,
yard
for
line.
sure.
find out if the defense has made any adjustments after giving up a touchdown on that last drive.
So much of the passing game is about timing between the quarterback and his wide receivers. Right now with this
Offense
offense,
blocked up really well.
in sync,
There's just the one guy to beat there.
timing and execution is flawless.
That brings up 2nd and 5.
Need to focus on tight ends too, because I got a couple tight ends I'm trying to recruit. So I need to get them some playing yards.
Gonna go across the middle. Caught. He's tackled at the 45.
That's good for a gain of 17 yards. That makes it 1st and 10.
Oh, we need to kind of hurry up here, actually. For the half. Guy drop under? Nope, he's blitzing. Good.
And he's taken down around the 25-yard line.
So try to stop.
1st down.
Let's do the smash.
From the 25-yard line. 1st down.
I don't want to run him under it. Oh, McDoom almost got it. Oh, actually, Hopkins almost got it.
How did he drop that? The defender did
Yeah, it felt kind of clunky that first game.
read the play
So that's why I was kind of working away from it, but it's feeling pretty good.
drops the
Yeah.
interception. Boy, the offense caught a break there.
That was on me, though. I shouldn't have thrown that. Right here, X, and then square. This guy turned around.
Very good tackle in space.
Gain of 13 on the play.
Like I said, this receiver is really good.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 12.
But I'm recruiting a center that is run-oriented. He wants to play style to be better. And I got some tight ends I'm trying to recruit. So I need to really focus on the run game here. And I want to recruit scrambling quarterbacks next year. So I need to put up some numbers with my QB. Get in there. So, like I said, I think this year we're going to focus on the run game more, and then next year we might look into spreading that out a bit. Running more of a balanced offense next year. Oh my gosh, I'm not out there. That was that 78 athlete that I recruited, that I signed at the last part of the year after going 4-8. See that? Okay.
Here's the throw. I don't think he got anything on that. We're going to halftime and we've got a great
Unbearable?
game. Nevada's
I like
lead is
this
a
team.
touchdown. All right,
The
Reese,
teal?
David,
I
thanks,
like it.
guys. Second half action just about ready to start.
I don't think it's as bad
Sends
as
it sailing downfield.
Boise State. I think Boise State's really bad, really hard to look at.
The offense is on its way out on the
I would-
field again, and they haven't had any problem.
I need to find a way to get Eastern, or is it Eastern Michigan? No, not Michigan. Eastern Washington, I think. I think they're the ones with Redfield, I think.
You know, for a safety, this guy
I don't.
really
I'm not a
good
fan.
game. I'm very surprised to see
I am
him
not a
drop
fan of
an
Boise.
interception like that. Could
Their
come back to haunt his
field.
team as well.
It drives me nuts.
Second down, 10 yards.
Which we're gonna have to play them because it's our rival. Oh gosh, that juke was nasty.
At the 40-yard line.
That juke was nasty.
15 on the play. That makes it 1st and 10.
Try that stretch play. I don't know how well my wide receivers can block. That one, 17 should be able to block pretty well. Snow doesn't block at all, apparently.
They'll get him for a loss.
Never really had a shot.
That's right.
They were on him almost as soon as he took
Back
the
up the
handoff.
paddy wagon. He's gonna need to ride home. Get the ambulance in. His ankles are broken.
Ball on the 39.
You know, no time to throw.
31-yard line.
The The smart quarterbacks and offensive linemen have a really
That play's not
unique
going to
way.
work on this
A
offense.
quarterback should take care of his offensive lineman. But after that play and that hit,
We might be able to get Mac on a free run here.
relationship this quarterback and his offensive lineman have.
Depends on what this corner up here does. Yep, he backed off.
Fires quickly, and he's got his man. They'll bring
That
him
stop
down
juke,
to the
man, it's
40-yard
undefeated.
line.
That stop juke is nasty.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on the 49.
All right, back to running the ball now.
Nice run up the middle.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that stop juke is. If you don't use the stop juke, you need to work it into your arsenal, because that stop juke is nasty in this game.
Nevada.
I really didn't start using it until a couple of years ago when I was playing Madden, and then it's like second nature for me to pull back and try to make them miss. All right, 35. Okay, I got two guys out here now, so that one's probably not going to be open. That one will be though. Oh, I don't know if he caught that. That was pretty low. But they're not going to review it. I'll take it.
1st down, 10 yards to go.
Yeah, I would challenge that if I was on the other side. Ooh, about that real quick.
Play of the drive.
Oh,
They'll bring
nothing.
him down for a loss on the play.
You know, it looked to me like
Nothing.
he made the pitch, but he kept it instead and wound up.
They're not very good. My offensive line is really bad. Which is another reason why I kind of want to focus on running the ball as much as possible. Because I feel like they're a little better in the run game. Which, I mean, those last two plays doesn't show that. But,
Play action.
oh, that's a pick.
Dangerous
Yeah.
throw. This one's picked off.
I don't know if we can tackle. Okay, good. Get somebody to tackle.
Great catch by the
Okay.
linebacker, but not a smart throw from the quarterback.
It didn't look like the quarterback even saw the linebacker hanging in that
Yeah,
area.
I should have done that.
Pleased to
Throw
be
it
in the
across
right
my body.
spot at the right time.
Bad call.
1st down, 10 to go.
Bad
Ball on
call.
the 22-yard line. He's out to the 30. It's on the ground.
Oh,
And the
man.
offense will recover. Tackle made right around the 34.
That'd have been a real dagger in their heart.
Got it, but he's going to lose
Let's
yards
go.
here.
That's a loss of 3 yards on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Rod Tidwell, I appreciate the follow. Thank you, sir. How you doing today?
2nd and 12 coming up.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
31. And a quick throw. That's a great tackle. At the 38.
Scotty, I've been watching a lot of Pesley videos the last couple of days. And in his raid series, he talks about how you should do all of your scav runs on factory. And literally just run in there. And if it's...
He chucks it downfield.
Oh my gosh, I don't think he's deep enough. Okay, good.
Incomplete.
And he literally just runs in there and, like, just quick loots the medical spot and then gets out. And then he literally just sells everything.
You know the offense will be looking to do better this time out.
Yeah. And did you notice that you can sell all now when you do a scav?
Nevada up 7
You can just sell it all to fence right away. You don't even have to do anything. There's a sell all button now after you get done with your scav run. Oh yeah, who's playing tonight? I didn't even look to see who was playing tonight. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Who they got matched up tonight? I'm ready for some college football myself next weekend. Next weekend? Yeah,
Superb
next
effort
week.
by the receiver to come down with that
Actually, I
ball.
think it starts this
Comes
weekend.
down to the timing between the quarterback
I think
and the
the
receiver, and the result, again, a
who
nice
is it?
play
Navy and
to go.
Notre Dame. I think are playing in Dublin tomorrow. I mean Saturday. Philly and the Colts. Well, that'd probably be worth watching. Gardner Minshew playing against his old team. I saw a video the other day of the Colts rookie, what's his name, Anthony Richardson, and Gardner Minshew, and they were mic'd up at practice. They look like they get along really well, which is nice to see. It's nice to see.
That's good enough to pick up the
Is
first down.
is that one on Saturday?
Ran with some purpose there and picked up 6 yards.
The 26th. No, so it's Saturday. Yeah. What time is that game? Because it's got to be a funky time because I'm sure it's on Dublin's schedule. It'll be a normal time for people in Dublin, but for us it'll be a weird time, right? Probably like 8 o'clock in the morning or something. 2:30 p.m. Huh? That's not bad. I'm gonna be at work, so I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna be able to watch it. I might record it, watch it later. Oh gosh, that tight end got some air. 1:30 Central. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go to work about 1 o'clock, so
Nevada is up 7.
probably have to record it.
And they get nice yardage on that run.
I know this play. No, I'm Central Time. Central Time. I know that this gameplay is not the most exciting thing to watch because I'm just literally running it straight every play, but it's for a purpose. I've got a center that wants me to be more of a run blocking scheme team, and I got some tight ends I'm trying to recruit
First and 10.
that
Ball on the
are
31-yard line.
one of them is blocking, one of them is receiving. I get some tight ends out here to block for me
Takes it up the
to
middle
just
for a nice
grind this clock out. Plus, I don't think I can win a shootout with this team, so I don't want to score too quickly.
So with 1 quarter remaining, the Wolfpack lead 21-14. All right, we're just about set to start action here again in the 4th quarter.
That's true. That is true.
Tackle after a decent run up the gut.
Rod, what's your college team? What's your favorite college team? Who are you gonna be rooting for in the coming weeks?
From the 18-yard line. It's first
I'm an
down.
Oklahoma State fan. Scotty over there is a Badgers fan.
And down he goes.
You say Ohio State.
21.
That is just a great play getting into
Michigan State.
This guy is
I can
so
rock with you with
fast.
some Michigan
The
State.
ball
I like
carrier
Michigan
never had a
State.
chance.
I always like their unis.
Here's
Back in the
play of the drive.
like early 10s, they had a real physical style of football that I enjoyed watching.
Inside the 10. He's taken
Which, I mean, most of the Big Ten does have that too, but it's just something about Michigan State. I mean, they were kind of gritty. I mean, it was kind of like, is that guy going to punch that guy in the face this play, or is he just going to tackle him? Yeah, I liked watching that. I enjoyed it. And I will say, the Michigan State-Michigan game is a rivalry I enjoy watching.
Nevada is up a score.
Oh, yeah, we're in.
Touchdown Wolfpack.
Jeff Smoker Day unis.
If I were the head coach of this football team, I would give him the ball at least 30
Nice.
times a game.
Don't know if I'm familiar with the Jeff Smoker Day unis. Let me look that up real quick. It makes me think of Jeff Saturday. Oh yeah, those are some classics. Very basic green helmet, green jersey. And that's kind of a blurry picture. That's not better. Yeah, I liked the it had like a Spartan uniform, but it had like a gold color on it too, like a real dark gold. It was cool.
He'll return it from the 4-yard line. He's taken down at the 29. Nevada's defense has been a force to be reckoned with, especially in this game.
Well, they've stepped up today. They just seem to be dialed into what this offense is trying to do. Good job against the run. They've been very physical. What I love is how relentless they run to the football.
Well, this offense has found the end zone on their last 2 drives.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Jeff Smith.
Trying to do much of the same.
Probably before my football watching days.
Nice game. They're about 4 yards away here.
I really started watching it about 2006, 2007, I would say, is when I really started paying attention to football.
Hands off to the
Nice.
right and is brought down in the backfield.
Loss of 3 yards on the play. That makes it 3rd and 7.
Actually, I don't know who that is. Jason T. I don't know who that is.
And he's going to be
I wouldn't say I'm a
I think if
big
it was on
Michigan
the
State
offensive
fan
line,
by
they
any
gotta
means,
do a
but
better job of
if
holding
I had to
the
pick a
line.
Big Ten
Or else
team,
the
it would be
quarterback's
Michigan
gonna be
State
pulling
for sure.
turf out of his face mask all game.
Jason T. The name sounds familiar, but I might be thinking of there was a Teague that played in the NBA. Might be thinking about him. Oh wow,
gets to about
he had
the
a nice one.
41-yard line. Flag down.
Can you send a picture? I don't think you can.
When it was thrown. Let's find out.
Receiving team.
I think you can, but
That's frustrating for a coach when you preach fundamentals
I can look
every
it up.
week and then have someone called for clip.
brought up some guy on Smallville. Michigan State. Oh yeah, I got the dreads and everything. I like his helmet too. I liked that Revolution style helmet. Who is that big? They had a big defensive end. No, you're thinking of the right guy. He's there. A lion among men. Hold on, let me turn my light on. That's Teague. He used to Vernon Golston. Was that his name? No, he was at Ohio State. I thought there was one at Michigan State. It was something like that. William Golston. See, I remember watching that monster play. That dude was massive. See, and these are the unis I was talking about that I really liked. That dark green with the gold helmet. No. Now,
That penalty
I,
really is going to set him back.
and I will have to admit, Adrian Peterson was a very good player, but
From their own
I'm an
26-yard
Oklahoma State
line.
fan.
First down.
It's the other Oklahoma. Now, we're the ones with Barry Sanders.
On the handoff. And he tackles him hard
We had
at the
Barry.
29-yard line. And the halfback carries for a pickup of 3.
Just a great job here by the defender of timing the hit and getting him down.
Well, there's two other ones. Ohio State and Oregon State are also OSU.
Nice run, and he's brought down. It's third down, and they're about the length of the
That's not what I wanted.
from the first down marker.
All right, I don't know if I wanted to read option here. Oh, this will work. I didn't get off there. That's all right. We'll take that. I don't know that we're the other OSU. I think of Ohio State, Oregon State is the other OSU. That's why I don't ever say. That's why I always say Oklahoma State. I don't say OSU because people are always like Oregon State, Ohio State. I'm like, no. Oh man. Even when he's in the pros, he makes professionals look silly. The year he had and when he won the Heisman and everything, I mean, he just put up insane numbers, right? Like nobody, he was the best player on the field all the time. There's literally there was a year where him and Thurman Thomas, who was a great player for the Bills, and a great college running back in his own right, where they were on the team together, and Barry was younger, and Thurman was kind of the established back at that time, and Barry Switzer, who was the Oklahoma coach, literally told people, whatever you do, do not hurt Thurman Thomas, because we don't want to play Barry Sanders. I'm good with Thurman. I don't want to play Barry. And this is before Barry had really kind of broke onto the scene. But he had seen enough that he was like, no, don't. Whatever you do, make sure Thurman Thomas stays in the game as much as possible. I don't want to see Barry Sanders on a down in, down out basis. I don't blame him. Because people found out that his Heisman year, that Switzer knew what he was talking about. I always thought that was a pretty cool story. But Switzer, even before Barry made it big time, knew that Barry was going to be a great player and he did not want to play him. God, he's so quick.
I love to see this quarterback respond when this offense
Is that all my coaching said?
to pick him up. Your
I think I did make my big old fat guy. I don't remember. It's been so long since I did it. I think I did make my big old fat guy. This is. I need to start chewing the clock here. Oh gosh, yeah. Yep, that tells me right there we need to start chewing the clock. I think that Nick Saban is a better coach than he is recruiter. I think I don't think Saban has to do that much to recruit guys to come play for him. I think he did early. I don't think he does anymore. Like when he first got to Alabama, yeah, he hit the, he was grinding and recruiting every obscure name he could get, right? But I don't think it's the name Alabama. He doesn't have to recruit at this point. They're gonna have a top 10 recruiting class every year. He doesn't have to do anything. He just sends his recruiters out. Those guys just got to say, hey, do you want to come play for Alabama and, play for SEC titles? Or do you want to go play for, Coach Gundy at Oklahoma State, where you're not going to play for anything? I mean, it doesn't have to. The name itself carries enough weight that he doesn't have to do the recruiting anymore. So I would say I think he's a really good secondary coach. I think he's a very good overall coach. I think he's probably the best secondary coach in the country.
Play of the drive coming up.
How's that not a face mask?
Brought down after a nice run up the middle.
I don't know what down it is. That was bug. There we go. 3rd and 5. Yeah. Drive. We'll do the dive here. I think Nick is a great coach now. I think he was a really good recruiter early on, and now he just has to coach. He doesn't have to recruit. All right, I am just going to go ahead and take the field goal here, and I think that running back just got hurt.
Performance, one for the books. We expected it to be great, and it was.
When you know coming into a game that you think a player might be able to
I wasn't paying attention. I meant to call timeout.
separate himself from the rest of the pack, and then he delivers. Boy, it's been a real pleasure just sitting.
No, he's a very good coach. He's a very, very good coach. As far as the secondary goes, I think he's an average coach everywhere else. But he personally coaches the secondary on that team. The safeties and the corners, he coaches them. We really shut him down on offense. 44 passing yards, 130 rushing. That looks like what it was when I was there. And they only scored 14 points. Yeah, he's a very good secondary coach. Now, I've seen, and the only reason I know that he's a really good coach is because I've seen videos of him coaching guys at practice, and I've seen what he's saying to them, and what he's telling them to do, and what he's trying to teach them. I've seen all that, so I think he is a very good secondary coach. Now, as far as offensive coach, I don't think he does anything. He's going to have the biggest offensive line every year. And biggest. I didn't say best. I said biggest. Because once again, the name Alabama just carries so much weight that it doesn't really have to do much. All right, we're putting up some good numbers here. Oh, don't get me wrong. I hate Nick Saban. I hate Alabama. I think at this point in my life, I hate Alabama more than I hate them. Which is something to say. I can't stand Alabama. I root for Alabama to lose every single game. I hate Texas, but I was rooting for them to beat Alabama last year. When Oklahoma and Alabama played back in 12 or 13, maybe even 14, I was rooting for Oklahoma to win the game because I hate them. Exactly. I hate the Patriots too for that exact reason. Now, I don't really hate the Patriots that much right now because they're not any good. I don't have a reason to hate them. They're not any good. But when Tom Brady was, and I really just hated Tom Brady. I don't think I hated the Patriots. I think I just hated Tom Brady. I can't stand Tom Brady. I'll give it to him. He's probably, up to this point, August the 24th of 2023, he's probably the best quarterback to ever play in the NFL. I don't think there's much conversation. But I hate Tom Brady. And Tom did it the right way. Right? I hate Tom Brady, but he did it the right way. Right? Tom Brady didn't make a bunch of money. He wasn't Patrick Mahomes making $500 million. You know what I'm saying? He took a pay cut so the team could be better. If some of these other quarterbacks in the league would figure that out, teams would get a lot better. If Russell Wilson for the Denver Broncos would renegotiate his deal and take a massive pay cut, they could pay offensive linemen to do that. They could pay offensive linemen to block for him. But they can't pay anyone right now because they're paying Russell Wilson a stupid amount of money. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox because Russell Wilson pisses me off. Because we gave up the franchise for him. And it has not paid off yet. We gave up the entire future of our organization to try to get him, and it is not paying off. Alright, lost 100 here, so let's give him 150. Where'd that other center go? Plus 215, I'll keep that. Just let some of the other guys be. This guy can lose some time. $1,500 here. Need to lock up the center. There's a reason that the offensive lines where he's been have never been any good. Because they pay him so much money. In Seattle, they were paying him and Marshawn Lynch and Doug Baldwin and the entire Legion of Boom so much money that they didn't have money to buy an offensive line. Denver doesn't. We put a bunch of money into the offensive line this year, but it's literally because we had to. Because they looked at the team and was like, nah, let's get rid of Von Miller, let's get rid of some guys, let's ship some of these guys out of here. You know what I mean? While people like Sutton are on rookie deal, or still on, I don't think Sutton's on a rookie deal, but you know, Patrick Surtain's on a rookie deal, and a bunch of these guys are on rookie deals. Yeah, because he didn't have an offensive line. Because they were paying the entire defense a ton of money, paying Russell Wilson a bunch of money, paying Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, I was hoping that it would change this past year, but it didn't. He got beat up. All right. Apparently we're better than Air Force, so that's nice to know. Let's get in here. Yeah, I just hate that we gave up the entire franchise to try to get in. And a couple of guys I really liked. Like, I really liked Noah Fant. I wasn't a fan of Drew Lock. I was okay with him leaving. I really liked Noah Fant, who's in Seattle. And I really liked Shelby Harris, who they sent, which Shelby Harris got brought back. He's actually with us now. I see. Mac is a 92. I need to feed just a little bit more.
Glad to have you with us in the studio. I'm Reese Davis, bringing you the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 pregame show.
Yeah, on top of all the draft picks. I didn't even mention the draft picks. We gave up 2 first-round picks, I think. Was it 2 firsts for him? I think it was 2 first-round picks for him. 2 firsts, a 3rd, and a 5th, I think, for him. And then for Sean Payton this last year, we gave up another first-round pick, plus a 2nd and a 3rd-round pick, I think. Like next year, they're going to have to move some people around to try to figure out how to get a pick in the top 60. Because I mean, I don't think we have a 1st round or a 2nd round pick next year. I don't know. I might be wrong. It might have only been 1 for Russell.
He's to the 20. He's out to the 30.
Run! You're so slow. That's blocking back.
Inside the 30. To the 10. They return it all the way for the touchdown. Don't get too excited at home, folks, because I think this one is coming back. Here it is. So they'll move back after that costly penalty, and they'll have to try to get that yardage back here.
Yeah, see, I didn't understand.
Now the offense.
And that's the thing, is like,
Their first crack at it.
I wanted the Broncos to go after Rodgers when they signed that Nathaniel Hackett, but I knew that giving up a bunch for him wasn't going to be the right way to do it.
We've got a 1st and 10.
And so, I don't know. I was like, okay, we got Russell Wilson, like that's cool, but I didn't really want to give up everything for him. When I found out what they gave up, I'm like, oh, we got screwed. That's not gonna play out well for us. We gave up way too much. Because we sent 3 players, I want to say it was 3 players and 4 picks to get Russell. And I'm like, that's way too much for Russell. Now, I will tell you, when Russell Wilson came out of Wisconsin, the year he got drafted, I think he was a 3rd round pick, if I remember right. I was working at a car dealership at the time, and one of the salesmen was like, I'll tell you right now, this is after the draft was over. He was like, the biggest steal of that draft is going to be that Russell Wilson kid out of Wisconsin. And I was like, really? It's like, I thought he got a lot of hype for the run game that they had. I didn't think he was that great. You think he's really going to be that good? And he's like, oh no, I'm telling you, like that dude's going to be phenomenal. And I'm like, And I'm like, interesting.
They've obviously found a formula for moving the ball against this defense. Let's see how many adjustments are made
RG3,
before their
yeah,
backs are
gross.
really against
But yeah, he was like, yeah, that Russell Wilson kid, he's going to be the steal of that draft. And now I can't tell you for sure that he's the steal of that draft because I'd have to go back and look at all the picks. But Russell Wilson is one of the better players to come out of that draft for sure. Yeah. Now, I thought Luck. First of all, I thought it was really weird when he retired. I thought, I'm like, there's something else going on here that we don't know about. But RG3, I thought he could be decent if he could stay healthy, but I knew that the chances of him staying healthy were not going to be very good. Sure enough, he blew his knee and all kinds of stuff. Wilson? Wilson did? That's pretty impressive. I didn't know that. I don't really remember watching him play in college, is the thing. Was he on that team with Moneyball? I want to say he was on that same. I think he was in that same team with Moneyball, wasn't he? Yeah. I mean, I remember Moneyball being really good in college. Talked about as one of the best running backs, but I don't really remember Wilson. Did you have Jack Cohn last year? Or did he leave you guys and go to Notre Dame?
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 47.
I can't remember. But I kind of thought, oh, he's trying to... I want to say he went to Wisconsin. But I was kind of thinking, I'm like, oh, this guy's trying to do the... Yeah. Cohen? Yeah, whatever his name was. Yeah. He went to Wisconsin. He only played 1 year with Wisconsin, right? He was at Notre Dame before that? Or did he play a couple of years? Yeah. I thought he was kind of doing like a Russell Wilson thing when he went to Wisconsin. Because Wilson was only a 1 year guy at Wisconsin too, right? Because he was playing baseball for NC State. I mean, football and baseball. Yeah. That's what I thought. And so I kind of thought when I saw Cohen, I was like, or Cohen or whatever his name was, I was like, They were trying to pull a Russell Wilson. I also thought Luck would end up in, yeah, Texas, I think. Rangers, if I remember right. I also saw that, what was I about to say? I can't remember now. Oh, Luck. I thought Luck would end up in the XFL, or was it the? I think it was the XFL. I think his dad was the commissioner of the XFL. Can't remember if it was the XFL or maybe that AAF or AAFF, whichever one that one was. I thought he would honestly end up in one of those leagues because his dad was the commissioner. I thought he would come out of retirement and go into there.
I don't think there's a coach in the world who wouldn't be happy with getting 5 yards of carry.
Yeah, I was also really mad, speaking of Andrew Luck, in 2011. Oh, really? That could be then. In 2011, OSU, Oklahoma State was, I think the highest they got to was like number three in the country. But we lost a game in Ames, Iowa against Iowa State on, I think it was on Christmas or on Halloween. But it was like a last second field goal that, so if this is the goalpost on the one side, the football went like right over the top of it like this. And they said it was no good. But I would argue that it was good. But they, yeah, I'm not paying attention. But they ended up playing Stanford that year. We should have been in the national championship, but we lost that one game, and so that put us in the Fiesta Bowl against Stanford. And at the time, Barry Sanders Jr. was killing it over at Heritage Hall here in Oklahoma. And his top two teams was Stanford and Oklahoma State. And so we beat Stanford in a great game in the Fiesta Bowl. And I thought, oh, this means Barry Sanders is going to come back. No. He ended up going to Stanford and was their backup for a couple of years. And then ended up transferring to Oklahoma State and couldn't even make the 3 deep, the running back, and had to just return kicks. That's all he did. And that was the end of his college career. But I was really mad at him for choosing Stanford after we just beat him in that bowl game. I'm like, how are you going to pick the team that we just beat in a bowl game? But I get, he didn't want to live in his dad's shadow, is what he kept saying. Yeah, exactly. I mean, perfect timing is what I brought up his shadow. That's what he talked about. He didn't want to live in his dad's shadow. He didn't want to play in his dad's shadow. He didn't want to be, junior the whole time he was in college because he figured everyone would just call him junior because Barry Sanders was taken.
Especially for a guy this big. He got to the ball carrier before he could get out of the backfield.
And here's another third down.
And I mean, he really wasn't that great he was really good in high school because he played in a private league. But he wasn't, that was perfect. I saw him do that switch, let it go, it was perfect. He was really good because he played at a private school. So they didn't play in a very large league here in Oklahoma. So he was really good. I mean, he's the best player on the field all the time. But when he went to Stanford, he was there with, I think he was there with Christian McCaffrey and like Josh Love and some of those guys. And, well, maybe not Christian McCaffrey. Maybe not Love, actually. I'm thinking about it. Love was on a couple of years ago. Toby Gerhardt. He was there with Toby Gerhardt. Toby Gerhardt was there. And they had another running back, because I think Toby left in like 2012. They had another running back that was pretty good. But Barry never got any playing time. The guys in front of him are better than he was. It's like when he came to Oklahoma State, there was no room for him on the roster. I think we had probably Joseph Randall then was our running back.
Throws incomplete, intended for his wideouts.
Yeah, because it wasn't Justice. I think it was Joseph Randall who ended up playing in the NFL. So there's just no room for him by the time he got here.
These two teams are facing. On one side, you've got to find a way to
All right, run 14.
lead, and on the other side, you've got to find a way
Got some yards to the tight ends. This team is not holding up against the run at all.
That makes it 2nd and 2.
Randall with Bobby Reed.
about 2 yards to go.
Yeah, I think Randall was 22. Him and there's another guy named Justice Hill. Yeah, I think he was on that team because he played with Zach Robinson. Joseph Randall played with Zach Robinson, who is the one that took over from Bobby. I get him and Justice Hill mixed up because they had a very similar body type.
After a nice run up the middle.
Gain of 6 yards. That'll make it 2nd and 4.
And yeah, Joseph Randall would have been a freshman because Tostin was the starting running back in 2000.
Good outside run there. So we
Yeah, he did a nice job of using his blockers on that
2008, I think, was Keith Tostin who played in the league. And then Hunter. Hunter was the main back for the Zach Robinson days. That's his first one.
That's a gain of 10.
Hunter. He went on to play in San Francisco and was Frank Gore's backup.
from the 35-yard line.
Kendall Hunter. Kendall Hunter was that guy's name. That dude was solid. I think he was only like maybe 5'10", maybe 5'10". It's close. But he was one of the most solid people I've ever seen in my life. I used to see him around town all the time. And I'm like, that dude is solid. Hunter was his name. That honestly might be who you're thinking. Because he was there with he was there with Bobby Reed and Zach Robinson.
And this play is number 8 on the drive.
And I think he was 22. Kendall Hunter. 24. He was 24. Ooh, this is a great picture to show, actually. So, in this photo I'm about to show, tall wide receiver. Well, so you had Justin Blackman, who was the number 5 pick. He was in 2011, but Des Bryant was the quarterback with Zach Robinson, or was the wide receiver with Zach Robinson. It was Des Bryant. All right, so this picture that I'm about to show there'll be 3 guys in this picture. One is 24. That's Kendall Hunter. One is 31. That's Tracy Moore. I played against him in high school. And then 37 that it's going to show on here was a guy named Bryant Ward, who was a 2007 graduate of the same high school as me. Let's see. But Hunter is 24. That dude was solid. 31 is Jeremy Smith. He played at Union High School here in Oklahoma, and he killed us. And then 37 is the walk. Yeah, Hunter was a really good one.
They'll bring him down around the 25-yard line.
That's good for a gain of
Now, that's not to take anything up. I think
This is the 9th play of the
Randall was a better running back than what Hunter was. And I think Randall wore number 1. Oh my gosh, that guy had a free run. Randall wore number 1, I think, and Hill wore 7. But I always get, when I think about Hill and Randall, I get them mixed up because they were virtually the same player. I mean, they looked the same, their size was the same. I mean, they ran the same. I mean, they were identical players, just different years. That's my pitch button. That one.
for the corner. And he's around the 16-yard line.
Sure. Yeah, Hunter, he was 24. That dude was really good.
that'll make it 3rd and 1.
It's the 11th play of the
Wanna go outside?
drive.
You wanna go outside? Hold on. Watch you out. I mean, let my dog out. You're good.
The 10. Huge play, and it's going to be 1st and goal.
See, that guy actually went back to see the fullback. I'm gonna look that up. Because I always think of him as the fullback, but he might actually just be the running back. No, he's a running back. It's a fullback for sharp 36.
That makes it 1st and goal.
It's 1st down, and they'll be looking for 6 points here. They try running left. Touchdown.
Oh, that was a nasty little spin move. That was a nasty little spin move.
It's still only the 2nd quarter. We've got a lot of football left, but I got to say, this one is teetering.
This team was also 0-12 when I picked them up. Or when I came over here. Nice. This team was 0-12 last year, so if we can go undefeated and try for the pack, I mean, we're almost a shoe-in to win Coach of the Year. All right, back. Oh, he does not have a good release.
Well, he tried to thread the needle with that pass.
Well, here the quarterback makes a poor decision throwing into coverage. Needs to look at his progression and find the 2nd and 3rd receiver.
2nd and 10. Ball on the 31. On the ground with the tailback. Runs it right. Nice pickup.
That's a gain of 7 on the play. That makes it 3rd and 3.
Kill! Gunner 3! Check 3! Red 2!
Play action here.
Oh, gosh.
Throws it into coverage, and it's intercepted.
Well, that's exactly what they needed, Brad.
At their
Somehow
pick.
get the football back to their own offense. They
I was getting greedy there.
And they need them in a hurry.
At their pick.
Could help them out.
From their own 17.
I should have just dropped it off to that X because that tight end was wide open.
taken down in the backfield.
The defense was able to get really good penetration and drop him short of the line of scrimmage.
The Falcons taking their first time out of the half.
Let's go, D.
Throws quick to the receiver and it falls incomplete.
You know, Brad, this is one of those plays where the
12 yards. The quarterback's throwing real well today.
Maybe every other member of this
12 yards in the first half.
receiver, if he's smart, will come up to that quarterback, tell
This
him to
looks like a game we're going to end up
move on to the next
simulating.
Tackle right around the 18-yard line.
I think the
Oklahoma.
play call was the right one for the
Oklahoma.
offense. I just think the defense made a better play.
Omaha.
They seemed to want
Things are on the verge of getting out of hand before we
Do you think that Nebraska has ever been so famous?
They're going to go a long way in determining what kind of game this will
Well, Omaha, Nebraska anyways. I know the football team was pretty good, but
Looking for his man, incomplete.
do you think
the defensive
you think
coordinator came up
Omaha, Nebraska was ever as famous as when Peyton Manning was using it for
From their own 37-yard
Audible?
line. Second down.
I dropped it.
He can't hang on.
But we're not throwing great either. We only have 73 yards in the first half. But yeah, because we're running it really well. And we're up 21.
Fires to the wideout, first down.
I think that was called timeout.
It's going to take their first time out of the half.
Good job here by the receiver to look the ball in and
Yeah, I
ensure
mean, they
the
won some
defense
national titles back in the day.
right way to catch a
But
pass.
From their own
I don't think Omaha, Nebraska has ever been so famous as when Peyton Manning was spouting their name out at every football game we went to. Then everyone was using it.
A quarterback's best friend is a receiver he
Oh,
can
that's
count
true.
on to catch the ball every time he drops back to pass.
It's true. And the I couldn't throw it.
Nevada is going to have to use their second.
College football is. I mean, college baseball is there too, isn't it? Isn't it Omaha?
So the sack makes this a second and long.
Yeah.
He's taking
I was hoping to get a little bit better of a block there.
Very solid gain through the air.
Push it. See if we can get.
Poise of this quarterback and the ability of the
Couple
receiver
more
to
here.
keep his concentration and get his hands on the football.
and he's hit immediately.
That was actually pretty good defense. But a great pass and a great catch were enough to overcome it.
That makes it first and 10.
Quick. Come on, hurry.
Quickly, touchdown.
You hate to say
Yeah.
the game is over so early, but unless they make some incredible changes and
That's insane. I
just don't see how they can come back from
was never. Did you ever play baseball, Stoney? I was never a baseball guy.
And the defense stopped them cold.
It's insane that
during their last
someone could crank a baseball that hard.
have to do to get back on track, but they need to
I got a couple 12-year-olds in my house, and I can guarantee you they could not. I don't think they could hit 20 mile an hour right now.
Gets out to around the 32.
Yes, pitcher and shortstop. Yeah.
And we
I never
finally
played
get to the end
baseball.
of the first half, and this
Never
was
my
not
thing.
even close.
We're gonna go ahead and send this out because I gotta call it at 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna try to play another game. See what happens here. Nothing. Touchdown. It's alright, we're still up. Interception. Good job, Franklin. Alright. 7-point game. I gotta get back in it. We'll just chew the clock.
Both teams realize that when the ball is snapped, we're one play away from a very different ball game.
Really?
Nevada up 7 points.
We talked a lot of
Corner.
shoot to the. Oh, that's a nice spin move.
At midfield. And they fire it down.
We talked a lot of crap to the baseball team because when I was in high school, that baseball team was bad.
You're exactly right. The ball carrier is able
Now,
to break through the secondary without resistance at all.
I don't know if you're a big baseball fan, but the Orioles took a Stillwater High School kid, #1 overall, the Holiday kid. was that 2 years ago now, I think. Maybe last year.
Makes it out to about the
But
33.
Good solid run right there.
so that baseball team has gotten a lot better than when I was there.
Before he could be stopped.
When I was there, that baseball team was trash. For hockey kids, yeah, I bet. See, and hockey is nothing here. I mean, people, I don't know too many Oklahoma fans that would say they're hockey fans, honestly. I mean, we just don't have hockey. No one plays it in high school. You know, there's no little league. I got one of my best friends is originally from Colorado. I would say he was my best friend in high school, but he lived in Colorado growing up, and he just retired. He used to work at the White House actually during the Trump administration, but he went to work or he got out of the military. He was an Army medic, and he got out of the military and is doing. I don't know what he's doing now. Yeah, see, and that's how football is here. Like everybody talks about football here. It's the sport in Oklahoma is it's football. But anyways, my buddy his son is playing. Who's I think his son's like he might be 10 now. I think he's a couple years younger than my boy. But his son is playing hockey. And I'll tell you what, he moved after our junior year. He moved back to Colorado for his senior year, and I can just tell you the football in Colorado is not as good as it is here in Oklahoma, because that dude would have been a backup at best on our team, and he was like their best player in Colorado at the high school he went to. Which, who knows? Maybe that's just because they were all playing. I don't know why I went for that touchdown, but maybe it's because they're all playing hockey instead. I don't know. Hockey's not a thing here. Soccer is kind of hit or miss. About, I'd say 50% or so. I mean, basketball's big because we have the Thunder. Yeah, we're built for it for sure. I would say basketball is big, especially now that we have, the Thunder here. But those are really the main sports. I mean, there's a semi-pro baseball team in Oklahoma City, or like a minor league team in Oklahoma City. There's the Dodgers. I think it's the Dodgers minor league team. I think they're called the Dodgers, honestly. There is a semi-pro hockey team in Oklahoma City. And you have basketball. Obviously no pro teams. There's a ton of semi-pro teams. Like a lot of guys that I played with in high school play on some semi-pro teams around here. And we're all in our 30s now, and I've had offers to go play, and I'm like, I don't want to go play for a semi-pro team because I'm extremely out of shape from where I was 13 years ago in high school, and at the same time, I don't want to fit the bill to play football anymore. Like, cause with a semi-pro team, you pay for everything, and then whatever proceeds at the end of the year, that's what gets paid out to those guys. That's why it's semi-pro. Because you don't make a weekly salary, you get a bit of profit sharing at the end of it, and I'm like, it's not worth it for me. Oh my God, this guy's going to OU, Nebraska, and UCLA. Bring him against UCF, I guess. Washington would probably be better, but I want to put it off. You're going to Wyoming, but you'll be an extra one. Exactly. It's all based on how many tickets they sell, right? So if you can't get a bunch of people to come watch you play, you're not going to get a lot of tickets. I think the 900 actually makes more sense for that guy. For this guy, I think we'll be safe with the bye week. For this guy, you can come here. Strong safety, same thing. Yeah, because they got to sell tickets. The more tickets they sell, yeah, that's how it works in Simmons Pro. All right, the more tickets that are sold, the better the team does financially, the better your payout is in the end. And I'm not a salesman by any means. I'm not going to go convince people to buy tickets to watch a semi-professional football team. Now, I will say, there's one about an hour's drive. They play in a place called Punk City, which is about an hour or 45 minutes to an hour from where I live, and they're not bad. They've played for some league championships and stuff, and there's a handful of guys that I played with on those teams, but it's not worth it for me. I can do a lot more with my time than what it would be worth to go try. And like I said, I'm so out of shape at this point. There's no way I could play a whole football game. There's just no way. I would be exhausted. Which I have seen some of the offensive linemen in those games, and they don't look very agile. They look like big boulders, and I think I could get around. I was a defensive end, so I think I could play, but yeah, exactly. I'd have to give up every single one of my Saturdays during the football season. I think it's Saturdays. I think they play on Saturdays and they have some like Tuesday games, which there's no way. Yeah, football's too important. My mom actually just called me the other day and said that my little brother is gonna be playing on a traveling soccer team this year, and they're gonna be traveling like all over the state. Like next weekend, they're going to what'd she say? Texas somewhere. I can't remember exactly where in Texas, but they're going down there because my brother is gonna be playing in a soccer tournament down in Texas. Plano, Texas. That's where they're going. But my brother's gonna be playing in this tournament. It's like really bright. My brother's gonna be playing in this tournament, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not driving to Texas to watch my brother play in a soccer tournament. Like I'm not doing that." She's like, "Well, your sister's going." I'm like, "Well, that's my sister. She's more than welcome to go if she wants. I'm not." But she said that the games are going to be on Saturdays in the fall. And I said, Mom, I'll just tell you right now, like, my Saturdays for the fall are pretty set. Like, that's football season. You know this. I'm not going to a soccer game instead of watching OSU play football. It's not happening. I said, now, if he's got a soccer game on a Saturday during the bye week, I'll make the trip. Or she said there will be some that are on Sundays. And I said, if it's on a Sunday, I'll drive on a Sunday and come watch him play on a Sunday. But I'm not watching him play on a Saturday. It's not going to happen. And so then she started reading off the dates, and it just happens to be like the end of next month is a bye week for OSU and a day that he has a soccer game on a Saturday. So we're going to drive to the city and watch him play on a Saturday. But I was like, look, if it's on a game day, I'm not doing it.
Effectively like this is it keeps the defense guessing. They have no idea whether you're passing or running, even if you need medium to long range yards.
Stay there.
It's 2nd and 3. Ball on the 41.
I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, chatting with me. I was at 2.96, I think, was the number when I started tonight. So I think we'll be over 3 by tomorrow. So that affiliate is right around the corner.
Brought down around the 44-yard line.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, Scotty. I was like, I'm not traveling all over the countryside to watch him play, but he's gonna be. I think the only one of them is in Texas. That one next weekend is in Texas, and I'm like, I'm not driving to Texas. All the other ones are gonna be like in the Oklahoma City area, so they're only like an hour drive for me, which for my mom is like a 3-hour drive, I think. But they're only like an hour drive for me, so it won't be bad for me to run over there on a Saturday, not during football season, and go check them out. I probably should have checked to see if OU has a game, because that could affect traffic, but I didn't. Hopefully they're either away or on a bye week at the same time. Good catch, tight end. Good job to box him out.
Makes those linebackers think twice before they make a move. That could be just enough time for the quarterback.
I don't have as many read options in this playbook as I wanted. I feel like I picked the pistol. I thought it would have a bunch of read options, but I really don't have that many. There's one.
From the 29-yard line, it's 2nd down. And now he's got room to run.
Oh, quarterback's got some wheels too. Looks shaking and baking. Scotty, are you affiliate yet? I can't remember.
Once again, they're moving the chains.
Here's the 11th play of the drive.
No, not even close. What do you lack? Followers or what? Viewers?
From the 9-yard line, 2nd down.
Or I didn't beat time. That's a good point. And stream time, all of it. Yeah. It's a lot harder for you though. You work 10-hour days, so I get it.
This is the 13th play of this drive.
Wide open. Wide open.
That was a well-drawn-up play for the wideout.
Yeah, they saw
Oh, and Nevada is in the Pac-12 in this. Right. How many followers do you have?
So let's see what the offense can do as they come out onto the...
Let's see if I remember how to do it.
Tackle at about the 33-yard line.
42. You're almost there.
So it's 2nd down.
You only have to hit 50, I
About 2 yards
think.
to go.
Which I feel like I got to 50 pretty, 39 even. I feel like I got through. Now obviously I am able to stream during the days, but I felt like I got to. It took me a little while to get to 10. And then once I broke 10, it really just. I mean, I had a lot of people helping me out and, you know, sending me follows and did a lot of networking with other streamers to get my name out there on their streams. But once I hit 10, it really like skyrocketed pretty quickly. And then I hit 50 and I'm like, sweet. Within since I hit 50, which was like 2 weeks ago, I've gotten 14, which isn't bad. It's, you know, a little under 3 per stream, but it's the viewer count that's killing me. Which my stream today that I did during the day averaged 3 for the stream. This one's probably going to average right at 3, maybe even like 3.5. Oh yeah, I kind of, I was kind of hesitant like early on, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, man, I don't really want to be like, hey, I'm a streamer, check me out too, when I get in other people's chat. But I just chatted with a couple of guys like Brennan and Braden and Brady and a couple other guys like Katie and Wags and all them. Chatted with them quite a bit and talked to him here and there. And after a while, once they kind of know who you are, they're not as standoffish about it, if that makes sense.
I think anytime you lose yardage, it's frustrating as a ball carrier. It's very frustrating as a play caller. Makes you a little bit more hesitant. It's early in this game, so the defense can still have an opportunity to make some adjustments. But if things don't turn around in a hurry,
What they running 3-4?
Start to affect the psyche of that defense.
Not doing the spin move with him anymore. I do enjoy it. I had quite a few conversations with guys today that I hadn't really, I maybe talked to maybe one at a time. One of them who was here oh my gosh, get the ball. What was his name? Jim Shotgun Williams came in this morning and was with me for quite a while this morning. And I hadn't talked to him at all before today. That I remembered anyways. And he and I talked for quite a bit today. Oh gosh. That was almost really bad. I thought he was going to pick that. But I talked to him for quite a while. I mean, it's no different than meeting you too. You know what I mean? You know, consistent guys like you, and like I talked to Brady. Yeah. I talk to Brady all the time. I mean, Brady and I actually text one another though. Which he said he's kind of stepping away from streaming a little bit and just trying to focus on making TikToks and YouTube shorts. Which I think is backwards if you ask me, but hey. Never mind, tell the guy what to do. Preston's another guy that I chat with quite a bit. Wolf Knight comes in quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy how you kind of build a true regular fan base, which for like somebody like Festily, you know, where he's got, 9,000 people watching at one time. Like how does he keep that straight? Like when your chat is literally just constantly moving, I don't know how you keep any of that straight. Which is probably why he just picks out like one out of like every third message. Well, and really for him, I mean, for him, he's probably like 1 out of 3, which is just insane to me. But my point is, like, with as small as like my community is right now, it's easy for me to remember people. It's easy for me to talk to people. It's easy for people to come in and start talking to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know who this guy is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I remember these conversations that we had before. You know what I mean? We'll start chit-chatting about something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember talking to you about that. With Pestily, well, there ain't no way. There's no way. I mean, some of it, right? Like once, guys who've been with him for a really long time. I saw some of his resubs on his streamathon, and they were for multiple years that they've been supporting him and subscribed to him. It's like 24 and 36 months, and I'm like, God, years.
Fires a bullet out to the right.
Ah, get that pick, kid.
That's not an easy play to make.
This is a pretty decent game we're playing here too.
Second and 10. Ball on the 12.
But yeah, my point is, once you get that big, we're gonna lose that. So I'm really enjoying it right now. Like, cause if I ever get to where this could be a true full-time job, which would be awesome, I would love that. It'll hurt not to have that sense of community, if that makes sense.
Throws it out right to the running back. And he's taken down at the 4. Looks like the defense was in
All right.
coverage there.
Fourth down stop.
They stopped that screen.
Yeah, and when the secondary isn't
No, they're gonna kick it here. They got it.
The kicker looks like he's ready to kick this
I
one.
don't know about you, but I don't ever try to block kicks anymore. It just never happens. So I'm like, what is the point?
He's to the 20. Looking for the corner. He steps out at the 30.
That's my point, right? Like, you're gonna lose a little bit of that. If I ever get to the point to where there's 100 people in here watching me at one time, like, it's gonna be hard for me to have a personal touch with all those people. There's the handful of guys that have been here the whole time that I'll be like, oh yeah, like that name. As soon as the name pops up, I'm like, oh yeah, I know the conversations that I've had with that person. But once you get, big time, like Pestily, like, let's see what he has right now. $5,000, and it's actually Daddy right now. It's a toaster rack. It's actually streaming right now, but there's 5,000 people watching. Like, there's no way that
So it's second down now.
you'd be able to keep up with. You'd be able to have that personal touch, exactly like you said. And I really thought like I would struggle. Oh my gosh,
Throw out to the receiver. Incomplete.
I'm not throwing it well in this game. I was really worried that because I'm in my day-to-day life, I'm not an overly social person. The friends that I have at this point in my life are guys that I've known for many, many years.
On play action. He'll scramble.
Oh,
Pass to the tight end, but he bobbles the ball away. So that'll make it 4th down.
I gotta go for this.
very good stand by this defense.
What the friends no.
The offense that takes the field.
I'm not an overly social person, so I thought I would kind of struggle with the social aspect of streaming, which I've taken to it. I haven't had any problems. I don't feel shy or awkward talking in conversation. I did a little bit today when my old lady was in here watching me. Well, not really watching me. She was working, but she was in the office with me. And so I felt a little awkward talking, but not that bad.
And he gets a yard on the run.
And so I'm kind of surprised at that. And it's a good surprise, you know what I mean?
Ball on the 47.
But I haven't had any problems
Nevada holds a 4.
keeping a conversation or talking or
Gets to about
finding something to talk about. I do ramble quite a bit, but it's obviously a lot easier when you have someone to talk to. Right? When you have dialogue back and forth, it's a lot easier to keep a conversation going. I could sit here and ramble about all kinds of things, but is it great content is the question. Yeah. Oh, hold on to the ball.
I like the scheme the defensive coordinator came
Yeah,
up
4th
with.
and 9. I got to kick it
All
now.
over the place on that play and left the quarterback nowhere to throw it.
Get them deep here.
Johnson is waiting for the snap.
Probably a little too much. Probably the 12. If I'm lucky.
Momentum swings have been fairly even.
No.
So little separation.
Gosh.
This game
21. It was a bad punt.
on just 1 or 2 plays. Quick out to his receiver. And he's tackled.
What the heck was that? Was it like an RPO or something? It had to be an RPO.
Good for 7 yards. They need about 3 yards to get the first here on second
Yeah.
down.
When you can keep a conversation going with someone, it's a lot easier. Gives you something to talk about, especially like when you get to like the flat moments of whatever you're talking about. You know what I mean? It helps to be able to rile some stuff up. That's why I like. I enjoy playing Tarkov, but my viewer engagement is a lot higher on games like this, where I don't really have to think much while I'm playing it, and I don't really have to pay that close of attention. And it's something that people are very passionate about, you know, sports teams and stuff like that. And they can come in and talk, and I've got a way too much sports knowledge in my head, so it's nice to be able to let it out in a way. Oh my gosh. Crud.
Well, that was just a well-executed play. They picked the perfect time to stretch the defense with a passing play.
Why do the nerds always get? I think so too. It's a nice comfort zone. It's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I can talk about forever. It's something that I know a lot about. You know what I mean? If somebody came in here and started talking to me about interior design, I wouldn't have much to say. I don't. I have a whole lot to talk about with interior design. But with, you know, college football, I can talk about it all day. Reminiscing, talking about teams coming up, what I'm going to think the landscape of college football looks like moving forward, what it's going to look like when we get a 12-team playoff and all that stuff. Yeah, bamboo goes well with black leather. I'll take your word for it, bud. I'll tell you right now, there's not a single thing in my house, interior design-wise, that I had any part of planning. All of it is picked out by my old lady. I don't have anything to do with it. And there's a reason for that. Because if it was up to me, the walls would be blank. The walls would be blank. There'd be no color in our house. There'd be no knick-knackery nonsense. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I had to hang some stuff up she couldn't reach, but that's about the extent of my involvement. Alright, let's see what we can do here. We can kind of focus in. Get off. How's that? I got called for pass interference today, and I about lost my mind. How was that not pass interference? Literally affected the route, where he could not keep running the route. No, that's on me. That was a good one. I'm okay with that. Oh yeah, maybe that was it. Was it yesterday that I did that? I can't remember. Anyways, that pass interference that I got called on was crap. I'm like, how is that pass interference? Oh, nice little one-handed pass. All right, show off, bud. No, today? Yeah, okay. I was like, how is that pass interference? What did I do? If they're going to call that pass interference, they can call pass interference on every single one of these plays because it's just the mechanics of the game. Get off me. That's a bad throw. I didn't mean to hit X. Tapped him. Barely. Sure, there was a little bit of a tangle up between them at the top of the route, but not enough to call that. Alright, hopefully Mac will be open out there on the outside. He's only got 2 catches. I'll run that same play. Hopefully that safety stays back. Yep. Oh, he jumped it. He knew it was coming. He jumped it. Good play by that guy. That's what I get for running the same play.
Second down,
Yeah.
10 yards to go. Ball on the 30-yard line.
Excuse me. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now we got something cooking.
They like to run through all their routes before the game. And I have to say, they looked sharp before this one even started.
Nevada.
I like Mac here. Maybe Barclay.
Just outside the goal line.
What
I'm out.
impresses me so much is the guy's vision.
We got a good touchdown here.
Coverage perfectly to find his man for good yards.
Was it 2nd and inches? Why would I?
Second down, and they're about to lengthen
We're a run
the
team.
ball for
Get
the
your
first down.
calls right. Should be running in there, no problem. Oh, late hit. See, that's a late hit, but they're not gonna call that.
Momentum swings have been fairly even, and with so little separation, this game can
Yeah, that was
drastically change
not
in
smart.
just 1 or 2 plays.
And I mean, I get it if you're doing like a 3-3-5 defense, right?
He gets rid of this one.
But you got to have your linebackers there too. You got to have 6 guys in the box. They had 5 guys in the box. I knew for a fact that was a touchdown. The only way that wouldn't have been is if somebody didn't get a block or he tripped going in. Ooh, cracky audio. Hello. All right, let's play this guy. Is that audio cracking as bad for you? Or is that just my audio? Yeah, pick 6. Oh,
He's taken down.
not pick 6.
Really nice cover skill shown here
Yeah.
this time. That's exactly what you want to see from your
Trying to
young
come back and get that pick. I don't even care about running this right now. Just get to
This
the next
deficit can
quarter.
be easily overcome, sure. But they have to be thinking if they don't get something
They
going
got
in this series,
30
the
minutes.
burden is going to be felt by their defense. He laterals the ball. He fights forward to about the 26.
Was Toby Gerhart 32? That guy's giving me Toby Gerhart vibe. For some reason in my head, when I see him, I keep thinking Toby Gerhart. Maybe that's just because we were talking about it. He did wear 32? Okay, that's what it is, though. That's a guy that had a pretty disappointing NFL career compared to his college career. Because I thought Toby Gerhart was really nasty running back. He was kind of like a dying breed when he was doing it, because he was, I don't tend to sound racist, but one of the last, really good white running backs. And he was a hard-nosed runner like a Peyton Hillis back in the day when he was in Cleveland. I think he was on the cover of, I know he's on the cover of Madden. What year was it? 07 maybe? No, that's way too late. Like 12 maybe? Now, I will say I think Clemson's got a white running back that's really good.
He's tackled at about the 49.
All set on the Bucks, though. Yeah, for sure. Right, along that same line. Yeah, I'm with you.
From their own 49-yard line. First down.
Yeah. Just a tough dude to take down. And when I my junior and sophomore year, the starting running back on our high school team was a white dude who ran real tough like that. And was built very top heavy. He was a wrestler more than he was a running back, but he was a really good wrestler. Won a national title for OSU.
He's at the 30,
Oh, I missed him.
the 10. And he's all
That's on me.
in for the touchdown.
I missed him completely. We should go over 2 here.
No doubt with this goal, they need the 2, and they are going for it.
So this would be Toby Gerhardt's zone right here.
Crowd in that line of scrimmage.
Let's see if they feel the same way about their guy. Nope. No need to when he's that wide open, though.
A 7-play, 75-yard
Yeah.
drive. They get
That's how Chris Perry was, too. The guy on my high school team.
I thought they did a really good job
He was nasty.
mixing the play calling with
He would run. I mean,
just an
You know, the Marshawn Lynch, you know, run through a MFer's face. He was that dude. He would run through your face.
A lot of times you'll see teams start to clench up a little bit when games stay close well into the second half. You need to stay loose, keep doing what
All right, we need to put a drive together here.
and execute when it's time.
And we need to score. You really haven't done much offensively, though.
It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks.
Oh, yeah.
He's to the 40. He's at
Big
midfield,
run.
and he's taken
Let's go.
down at the 44-yard line.
Gain of 29 on the play. First down.
Should probably run the clock a little here because I'm getting kind of tight for time. Ah. Yeah, we're going to choose the clock here.
From the 40-yard line. Second down.
We called the wrong play, but it's all right.
Makes it out to maybe
That's not a good one.
the yard line. Maybe a yard on the run by the tailback.
You won't break or bend this linebacker. He won't miss that tackle too often.
I don't think so. Like on YouTube or what? Is it actually on ESPN? Oh, I bet. No, that's it. That's a good call, Black. I might watch him in the morning. I'm waiting for you to get on.
Got an opening. He's at the 30. Gets out to around the 25.
Oh, God, that'd be so much fun to watch.
That makes it first and 10.
We've got a
Oh,
first and 10.
yeah, that'd be
Ball
nice.
on the 25-yard line.
Vince Young was another guy that was pretty big disappointment in the pros
The 22-yard line.
after what he did in college. Just not very good in the pros. And Tim Tebow's on that list too. I think Tim Tebow is the greatest college quarterback of all time.
And he's tackled in the open field.
Yeah, that Rose Bowl is the number of NFL guys on those teams in that game.
Another third down.
I mean, it's insane. That is a really good game.
He gets out to about the 11-yard line.
Yeah, because not only was Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush and Vince Young and Roy Williams and all those guys on those teams, but then you had like even the backups were guys that played college. Like Reggie Bush's backup was LaDainian White. That dude played for my Broncos back in the day. Matty Poo, rating with 5. I appreciate it, my guy. How you doing, Matty Poo? I appreciate that, my guy. We got about 23 minutes left. I got a hard ceiling at 9 o'clock. My kids go to bed, so
Still plenty of time to
we're trying to finish up this game, and then that'll probably be it for me. But I appreciate everybody coming over. I'm working on getting to 3. I was at 2.9, so your raid might just be what we needed to bump me over. I appreciate you, Matty Poo. What were you playing? A little Madden? Yeah, I'm real close, man. Real close. I'm trying to get there before. I mean, obviously, I don't think it'll be there before tomorrow at this point, but I was hoping to get there before tomorrow. Got a big stream with me and little Madden 24. How you liking it? I've heard some horror stories. Brady said it was not worth it. Me and Scotty are going to be playing some Tarkov all day tomorrow. Starting at about 8 o'clock Central Time.
We've got a great game.
We're going to be running some Tarkov.
21-14, Nevada. All right, we're just about set to start action here.
How you liking the new Madden? Like I said, I've heard some bad stuff. Yeah, my analytics said the same thing. The little counter or whatever said like 2.8, but my analytics said 2.96 when I started, which I streamed earlier today too, so that won't be updated until tomorrow.
This is a pretty crucial series right here, with things being so tight. Your best player
You have been. I've heard some bad stuff about it. But, I mean, it is what it is. I was watching Dylan play the other day, and it was super buggy. It was lagging real hard on him. And he said it wasn't just his stream, it was doing it on his side, too. I thought it might have just been his stream, but... I heard something about the servers were all messed up. Dylan came in earlier and hit me with a rig and said something was wrong with servers and stuff.
And he's taken down at about the 47-yard line.
It's great when a running attack comes
122.
down like this. It makes an offense.
That's not what I wanted. Just run it up the middle.
First and 10. Ball on the
Look how light that box is. 4 in the box.
And he makes it out to about the 44-yard
And I came off the edges, but the box was light. What's your favorite thing about the new Madden so far, Matt? I'm telling you, if you're looking for a sneaky good linebacker that not a whole lot of people know about and you might be able to get in a trade with Detroit, go get you Malcolm Rodriguez. Go get Malcolm Rodriguez. Former Oklahoma State player. Man, we're going to have to punt this ball. Play defense. Might take the delay here. No, I won't.
In a perfect world, he knocks this kick down inside the 10.
That's a pretty decent one if it rolls. No.
This punt goes over the goal line, and this will be a touchback.
Nice, nice.
Things aren't tied, but they might as well be.
Superstar mode, kind of like a career mode type of thing. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm out of it on the Madden. The only time I played Madden 23 was when it came out on Xbox Game Pass, and I played it for free, and I only played it for the MUT. I like MUT quite a bit. Like Road to Glory, yeah. Like a career mode. But I haven't played it. I mean, they had the one with the storyline a couple years back, where you played as some quarterback out of like Texas or something like that, if I remember right. I remember playing that one, but that was the last time I played one of those modes. Yeah, I agree. I can't remember, your buddy was like a big trunk or something like that, if I remember right. Just a real good Southern boy, good Texas boy. Just drinking all the time, hammering beers. So that's always the impression. Yeah, that's always the impression I got, is that he sat around and drank a lot of beer. I think he had to play at the University of Texas too, or something like that. I think he had to play for the Longhorns. That was the last time I played one of those superstar modes. I did see like you can like do the combine and stuff. Like, that's cool. I'm glad they brought that back. I don't know, it might have been in last year too, but it's been a long time since I remember being able to go through the combine stuff on one of those games.
From the 32-yard line, it's
Like 2012 maybe. I mean, a long time ago. That I remember that you could do the combine drills. Oh no. Oh, I might drive down the field and score now, win this game. Kick a punt, or kick a field goal. Over here messing around. But Stanford back in this game. Shouldn't have punted, I guess. It's a really good game.
Barkley from the 7.
Or we just take the kick back. Although that might have been a clipping right there.
Inside the 30. He goes down at the 27-yard line.
think I'll win this with a field goal. Let the kicker be the hero on campus. Maybe get some ladies. I don't. This is field goal for me. Field goal to win this.
Less than 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Gains his way to the 19-yard line.
That's a gain of 8 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Why won't, let's just run it up the center here and not some stupid draw smash. There we go.
3 yards
Slam.
first here on 2nd down.
Oh yeah, I got 15 minutes. Go forward. Thank you.
To maybe the 16-yard line.
That's a gain of 3 on the play. That makes it 1st and 10.
Slam again. Right up the middle. Hopefully my kicker is good enough to make this field goal because I'm kind of banking on him being him. Don't fumble the ball, whatever you do.
Gets a yard, maybe less.
Boy, the senior linebacker's experience really showed on that run. He sniffed it out perfectly and made the tackle.
Oh my gosh, I almost let the clock run all the way down. That was almost a really big mistake. There we go. It's probably one of the classic games. Get us some extra points that way. Oh, they're icing my kicker. Uh-oh. Might be a problem. I don't think I have any points towards not icing the kicker. Yeah, I don't. Oh my gosh. Stay in there.
Yes, he made it, and this one is over. And that gives them the lead.
I know that I call kickers head cases, but this kid isn't one. It's
Let's
like he
go.
doesn't even feel the pressure.
We had a fight to
Yep,
the finish
instant
here
classic.
today. 24-21, Wolfpack.
We did not have great stats today.
That does it for this edition of NCAA
But we
Football
beat Stanford.
14. For Kirk Herbstreit,
I wasn't gonna let them nerds get one over on me. Silly trees. What's a tree to a whole wolf pack? Number 7. Wasn't very high on the list. But we will take it. Clutch, that's right. Well, I'm about to get off myself, but you guys got any suggestions on who we should raid on the way out? I don't even know who's on. I have to look. Here. Oh, get off my screen. I appreciate the raid, though. Like I said, that might have been just the bump I needed to get it over. Coach Larry, how you doing? Sorry to say this, but I got a hard ceiling at 9 o'clock. Got kids to put in bed. Playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, is that a person? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were just saying your name is Coach Larry. All right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think that's a person. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. BISCUITSTV. Kill that. All right. Like I said, we are going to work towards finishing up here. So, I'm going to pull up the Twitch stuff. Like I said, I appreciate everybody coming out. We're hoping that we got the affiliate knocked out. I appreciate everybody for coming out. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. Appreciate Matt for the raid. Scotty, as always, I'll see you in the morning for our big Tarkov stream. UIT TV, right there. I appreciate you guys. Much love. And remember to tell someone. Yeah, we'll talk to you tomorrow, Scotty. Make sure you tell somebody you love them. You tell someone you love them every day. All right. Raid is starting now.